about lease renewals. This is such a big topic. I mean, it's a time when you might be in a facility that you're pretty happy with, but the lease is coming due. For many people, it's not the time they think about calling a tenant representative.
Right.
But believe me, this is the time when you may want to call your tenant representative, because lease renewals is an opportunity for
it's a negotiable event, and you can get a lot of things. For instance, you've been in there 5 years. Is the carpet getting a little tired? Do you want a different paint? Is the HVAC, has that been working good? Is there anything that could be better? Because now's the time. The landlord wants you to stay. It's your option whether you stay or not, and it's a negotiable event. You don't have to just sign, okay, we're staying, and there's no negotiation. There's a lot of negotiation whether you decide to stay or not. And of course, then little things like better rent, more incentives, more lease clauses that could be to your advantage. You may have learned something between now and the time you sign that original lease, and now's the time to throw those clauses into the lease.
And the landlord is thinking, well, you're not going to want to just uproot and leave here.
Right.
So he's kind of counting on the fact that you're not going to fight too much, that you're not really going to push. But what is the market? How has the market changed from the time you originally signed the lease? Right. Especially in the market today.
And your renewal option might say X dollars a foot in rent, this is what it's going to be. That doesn't mean you have to pay that. You go back to the landlord and you say, hey, we're thinking of staying, but this rent is not market anymore. We need less. Or we'll go elsewhere and pay less.
Exactly.
So it's just mind-boggling that people go, oh, I like the landlord, I like the space, where do I sign? We're going to stay 5 more years. It's like, all these things you could have had, And by the way, timing we talked about earlier, you don't go to the landlord a week or 2 before the lease comes up for renewal and try to negotiate anything, because they know you don't have time to leave. But if you go to the landlord 6 months in advance and say, we're kind of trying to decide what we want to do here, now we got time to get some real incentives in there, and the tenant still likely won't pay a leasing fee, although the tenant might, but when we show you we've just made you this much money or saved you this much money and our fee is this much, is that a good deal or not? So, a lease renewal is a negotiable event, and I never try to let one go by without improving the deal some.
So even if you didn't use a tenant rep when you signed your lease to start with, now may be the great time to get some of those benefits.
Exactly. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you'd like to learn more about facility, site selection, lease negotiation, etc., go to the website below. There we have 20 videos which will tell you probably more than you ever want to know about site selection and lease negotiation. Thanks a lot.